Have you ever traveled through time? We do it every day.
Asgardia is a country with a population of more than 1 million people from more than 200 countries on Earth. Asgardia gives everyone equal opportunities, no matter what their earthly status is.
It is possible to create and live in the future right now. Are you ready? Forward progress is the solution to the entire human race. Our mission is to bridge new horizons. In Asgardia, there is no limit to the universal development in the fields of technology, finance, and arts. Asgardia is a new space and digital economy which creates opportunities for the global economy. We deliver innovations. Do you want to get on board with us? We are developing various kinds of digital businesses, attracting them to the Asgardia platform that can be backed by the means of our umbrella, i.e. franchising of the Asgardia brand. We can not only attract investments into space programs from prominent institutional investors, but also affordable amounts from the citizens of Asgardia. We comprise of more than 1 million people.
Asgardia is a chance to realize one's dream. This is a dream-driven space nation. Asgardia is a chance to belong to a community of free-thinking enthusiasts, goal-driven dreamers, and fearless innovators, theorists, and scientists.
We are the first space nation. One humanity, one unity.
Asgardia.
We are creating
The future.
Hello. Greetings, people. Hiya. Good to see you all. How you doing? Hiya, Feda. Good to see you. How you doing? We'll start in 2 minutes then, if that's okay. For what shouldn't be a very long session today, I don't think, but we'll see. Just getting my screen ready. There we are. All right. You'll start in 1 minute.
All right.
As I say, I don't expect it to be a very long meeting today, but we had it in, so. And Rebecca, you can tell us when. I'll just check to Rebecca. It's here.
Yes.
Hiya. Right, I've just got to. Such a strange thing. I've got some condensation on the roof here. Let me just get the condensation off the roof. Phenomenal buildup of heat. Get it from somewhere. Okay. Let's see if I can do this without my background.
I need water.
I need water. Well, I've got water on the roof here. Let's see if this works. Yes, it does. I haven't been using the studio for a week, and funny things have happened in it in between. A lot of condensation and very high temperatures. Okay, Rebecca, are we broadcasting? Great. Okay, let's start. First of all, welcome everyone to welcome back to me. I've finished my travels And I in total traveled, I think, something like 36,000 or 34,000 kilometers in the last 12 days. Even for me, that's a lot. But it's nice to be back in the United Kingdom, though the weather isn't very good. It's great to see my children again. That was the thing I missed the most. Wherever you are in the world, welcome to our Asgardia Legislative Forum, a fairly short session today, I believe, which is our opportunity to discuss matters informally and to share information as well. So it's a fairly, I don't expect it'll be a very long session, somewhere between 60 and 120 minutes probably. I don't think it'll be longer than that, but we don't need to make it long. We just need to get the job done. Just to explain for those who are watching for the first time, I'm the chair of Parliament of Asgardia, which is the world's first space nation. And what we do is we work towards creating a sustainable space society, the protocols that are necessary for peaceful human existence off Earth. And it's an exciting project. And I hope that as you watch, you'll be inspired to join. You can become an Asgardian resident for €100 or $100 or £100 a year. And then you can be fully involved in the democratic processes and over time even stand for the Parliament of Asgardia. There are other positions in our system as well. I won't go into that much now, but if you like what you see, then go to Asgardia, the website, the Space Nation, and you'll find everything you need to know there as well. Now, looking at the agenda, first of all, Peter Morn sends his apologies. He's got to do some other work today. He might be able to join us a little bit later on, but it's not definite because he is very busy today. Peter Morn's the Deputy Chair of the Parliament. But wherever you are, whoever you are, you're welcome to join, and very pleased to have you here. Just looking at the agenda then, we're doing the opening now, and we're just reviewing the agenda. Then I want to have a review of the Eclipse events, and everyone's welcome to join in that conversation, primarily USA and Mexico. And I will talk about my experience there as well and the lessons learned. And I think that some of the key participants aren't able to make it today, so I'll talk about that. But then we can share views. And I can see that Ariadne's here, and I didn't see if Caroline's here as well. Yes, she is. Maybe they want to share what they've experienced as well. Then I want to report back on the Space Symposium, which I attended in Colorado Springs. Which is a major event, 39th such event that has been held, and where I was able to go. Then the agenda for 2024, I want to encourage us to start talking about events globally to see if there's an intelligent way we can make the most out of the resources that we have to really make a change, really make things happen for Asgardia this year. Then review of key legislation, your opportunity to suggest legislation you think that needs to happen. Any other business, and close of the ALF. I would say it will be between 1 and 2 hours. I don't think it will be longer than that. So it can be quite a short meeting today. If you've got anything you particularly want to add, then you can do so as well. Right, so let's start with the first item, review of Eclipse events, USA and Mexico. Background to this is that, as you may know, there was a total solar eclipse in observable from the Americas primarily, right up to roughly the middle of the Atlantic. It was quite a long eclipse. It was 4.5 minutes. I chose to go to Dallas to observe the eclipse and work with our AMPs there on an event. Others as well along the path of the eclipse organized their own Asgardia events as well. The purpose of this item is to celebrate what happened and to learn any lessons about how best we can make the most of these kinds of events for Asgardia. I'll start, but then I shall invite others who are here who observed the event. I see Teresa's here as well. Ariadne's here. Carol's here. To share your experiences of it as well. From my point of view, it was a tremendous success. Teresa Jones came up with the idea of the Dallas event, and I attended that. And frankly, I am so glad that I went. The team did magnificent work. Sarah Clark also. I think she's busy today. And TJ helped a lot as well. And 350 people arrived. for the Dallas event in a park there. I'll let Teresa talk about it a little bit more because I don't want to talk on her behalf. But I'm totally satisfied it was a great idea. And others along the path of the eclipse did the same thing. I didn't get very good photographs because I wasn't trying, but I have seen brilliant photographs. And I'm sure this will be a very nice article as well for the Room magazine, which I believe will cover it. We got quite a lot of coverage and we got some television airtime as well. In my judgment, it was the right thing to do. And although it has been a very tiring 12 days to travel, I think that it was mission accomplished. Let me go to Teresa now, if you're willing to say something about it. And then if Ariadne is willing to share and anybody else, do raise your hands. Teresa, do you want to add something, really? I've said it briefly, but you might want to explain a bit more about what happened and how we did it.
Well, it was just a great event. We took 6 weeks to plan it when we probably should have taken 6 months, but yeah, we made it through. Actually, I prepared a small slideshow of the pictures if you want to see that.
Definitely. I was hoping you'd say that. I only got back at 1 o'clock this morning. So
okay,
I haven't had time.
let me figure out how to do the share screen part. I believe. All right. Everybody can see it?
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Absolutely clear. Can't hear it very well.
To hear it, you have to turn on the sound when you first,
Yep.
before you share the screen. There's
Yeah,
a little
Teresa.
button down the lower left that you
Lower
have
left.
to.
Go start
Yeah,
again
you have
with the
to-
sound.
You
Yeah.
have to unshare and then go back to the share screen and look in the lower left, and you'll see a share sound.
Oh, share sound. Okay, I can see it. Okay, let's try this again.
Okay.
Okay. Go back. Down.
That is tremendous, Teresa. Do you want to say anything to add to that?
I will say it was an adventure learning how to photo edit and use a video player. I'll improve as time goes on. I just want to say it was an incredible event. It was great actually meeting John and Ava and JV and Millard and obviously Limbit and Sarah. And I can't wait to actually do this again. We've proven we can do meetups like this, and I think this is going to be a starting point for even better I guess meetings. We could call it meetings.
Yeah. Thank you, Teresa. Let's go to John.
Yes. Well, I want to say that actually brought a little bit of a tear to my eye because it was an emotional moment for me as well. First, it was the first eclipse I've ever seen in my life firsthand, and it was a spectacular eclipse. It was just well worth the trip. But secondly, because of the Asgardians that were there, Dr. Mallard showed up, which was just absolutely surprising. Lambert being there, and then Teresa, and there were several others, and it was just absolutely wonderful. We had a great time together, every one of us. It was a very memorable event, something I definitely won't forget. But and yes, I agree with Teresa. We need to do more of these. Every time some kind of space event or astronomy event or anything related to space comes up, we should put our planning team together and start planning. Of course, we have one coming up soon, which will be the moon launch, and we definitely need to be in the planning phase of that. And the more of us that come together, it was amazing being there because, like Lambert said, there was like 300 and some people, and they would come up to you, they would ask questions. We even had some sign up. I had this one young teacher scientist. He taught. He didn't tell me what grade he taught, but he taught a classroom of kids in science, and he had all these questions, and I answered every question that I could answer. And he was very interested. He really liked our calendar. He was sitting there telling his wife, he said, "Babe, you're no longer born on June the 5th. You're now Libra the 21st or something, you know." And it was funny sitting there watching them pick out their birthdays in the Asgardian calendar. And I explained to him that everything was based off science, and that Asgardia was, of course, all about science. And he was very interested. He really liked it. And he said he was going to share that information with his children, his school children. So, we made an impact, and it was just a wonderful time that I like to see more of. But anyway, that's all I have.
Thanks, John. I second that. Teresa, it has to be stressed, Teresa was really the original inspiration for all of that happening. And a lot of people played their part. TJ and Sarah has been absolutely magnificent in organizing it, and very kindly enabled me to stay with her mother. And we got on very well. She's great, really fantastic lady. And everything about it was good, basically, apart from some of the traffic. That's probably eclipse traffic to an extent. We even had the most incredible thunderstorm on the Monday night. I should explain. The weather was not good. And on the morning of the eclipse, it was overcast, cloudy, from horizon to horizon. About 10 minutes before the eclipse, it cleared. And therefore, we were able to see the whole of the eclipse. It was slightly hazy, but it didn't matter. And we saw, for 4.5 minutes, we saw the entire total eclipse. It was remarkable. And quite moving. John's right. It's quite moving to see those pictures, because when you see a total eclipse, it gives you a sense of your place in the universe. These massive, massive stellar objects doing something which was destined for 1 million years. And we just happened to be there for that moment. Let's go to Ariadne next, because you had an event.
All right, thank you very much. Well, this event is amazing, and I congratulate to all of you. I'm sick in this moment, but I'm here because I want to share my screen, and it's a little bit, yes, a little bit about all the shots that I shared in the media. Without perigee, there is no total eclipse, nor without an alienated notes. And that photograph from my daughter is so specific, so clear. In particular, this photograph meets the requirements for an amateur photograph to compete, as it is not weaved with special cameras. Quite a eureka moment. This is the moon, do you see? And this is the sun. They are in the same alineation. That is the reason, because we have a super luna, new moon, and the sun waiting for her. That's great. The most impressive moment in the lands of Durango, Mexico, when we've been the cheers of the Tepehuan groups, the singing of his people, the sound of the device that indicated to the blind the duration of the eclipse, and the total amazement of all of us, the eclipse arrived. Well, you can read better than me the English. This is another photograph of my son, my daughter, and I feel so great to stay there, because people prepared longer television to contact with the people. And the other thing so important is the astronomer that indicate to us many issues about the situation was were an astronaut, an astronaut suite. Yes, people enjoyed the situation of the eclipse. And I feel so great. I have a video, and I share the video in other places, maybe also in the Slack, when the people feel the surprise to stay in the night, in the middle of the day, and it's amazing. Well, that's all that I want to say now, and I congratulate very much, because many people organized to create a beautiful event in different places of the world. And in the future, maybe also as eclipse hunters. I remember in the airport, I say, oh, we are eclipse hunters. I love the idea to see. We have a partial eclipse in Canada, and also in Turkey. And maybe the people there wants to organize, and we are traveling there to receive that moment of the sky. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. And I'm glad it went so well for you. I think that Carol was less lucky with the weather up in New York State. I don't know if you want to say anything. Okay. Would anybody else like to make any comment about the event? It was really terrific. It was so good. Well, I think in total there were 5 events. There was one TJ organized one in her local school. However, there wasn't one there, and she had one as well. And I think in total we had 5 events on the path of the eclipse. It was a lot of work, I have to say, a huge amount of work. And as a result of that, and there's a lot of travel. As a result of that, though, I think that we really proved that we can organize great things. John?
Yes. Well, I when we were at our event, we got a message from Carol saying that she'd already signed up some people, so she had a small table set up. Um, and I know she was looking forward to seeing the eclipse herself. And I think they did have some bad weather come in, but the fact is, she was there, and she, uh, just and she did reach out, and she did make connections. So, and that's what's to me is important, is being there, um, making commitments, keeping those commitments, and being there and making connections. And that's how, as Asgardians, that's how we grow. That's how we become a larger organization, because until people really understand who we are, they're, they're not going to know. I mean, the internet is not enough. You know, you don't really never really get to know a person until you meet them in person. Um, you know, you think you know who they are, but the physical contact of actually meeting them, of being within their space, that there's nothing that can replace that. That human contact, there is nothing, no internet, nothing that can replace that. And we all know that. We all have families, we all have loved ones, we all have friends that we grew up with, and that connection, grandchildren and our children and our aunts and our uncles and our best friends, that connection that we make, there's nothing that can replace that. And that's the kind of connection we need in Asgardia, and that's why these events are so important, um, because you can't make that connection over the internet. Even though we're a digital nation, we still need to get out and meet and do meet and greets. And that's what this was, basically a meet and greet. And a lot of good came out of it. Both, it raised my spirits and hope for being around my fellow Asgardians, and being able to conversate with them. But it also raised my spirits and hope being around people that didn't understand Asgardia, and being able to explain to them what Asgardia was all about. So uh, I had, I want to tell you, I just can't, there's just no words of how much fun I had there. And just being around, especially, because I consider Lambert a friend. I don't consider him the chairman of Parliament. He is really a friend, and and just being around him, and then Sarah. Oh my gosh, Sarah was awesome. She was the best host you ever. And then Teresa. I mean, Teresa was Johnny on the spot. Well, Teresa on the spot, I guess, but it's a saying we have in America, Johnny on the spot. And she was right there getting things organized, and that Blue Origin thing they had, that was awesome. I don't know how they come up with that, but that was just awesome. Involving Blue Origin, and making that connection there. And it was like a little science project. They got to do little postcards to be sent to the moon, or I think sent to the moon. So, and I'd like to see how that, I would like to find out more information about that and see how uh, that is completed, and get the full story behind that. If Teresa or Sarah could maybe work something out, or up and show us exactly what that was, because that looked like a really exciting deal. So, and maybe we can find more things like that where we can connect, and to bring into these meetings, uh, you know, but but it's important that we make those commitments and we keep those commitments, and we do that bonding, that physical bonding that cannot be replaced in any way. I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, John. And It is good to see you. We meet all over the world. Baku, Tallinn, Dallas. It's pretty impressive. And you brought your family as well. They were great, really great sport. Really great. And it's great to see the other AMPs there as well. Ariadne, then Teresa.
All right, thank you very much. Well, I missed the situation that people from the newspaper, The Sol of Durango, interviewed me, and I'm talking about Asgardia. And I said, I'm here because I'm a member of the parliament in Asgardia, and they request me something about it and congratulate me. And that's interesting. And the other thing is, well, I remember, and I miss it all the time, my t-shirts from Asgardia. But maybe in the future we can make it more organization on that. And this is the beginning, I know. But the people there once eclipsed the shirt, and the lady that said that say, "Oh my God, wait, please send me your names and your phone number, because I'm running because I want to print more t-shirts." It's incredible. It's too much people. I can understand why, but it is logical. But never I think the people wants all the shirts. And I say, if I buy in t-shirts from Asgardia, maybe I make a really great business there. Yes, well, this is my comment. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure we could have sold a lot of t-shirts. And I'm sure now that we've done it once with 350 people there, I'm sure that we can make thousands in future when we do this. Let's go to Teresa, then John.
Okay, quickly about the Club for the Future that John was wanting to know about. It is a project run in conjunction with Blue Origin. It's mostly geared towards school-age children. You print up a blank postcard, have them draw a picture on one side about what space means to them, put a stamp on it, and then you send it to their launch facility, and they will fly all those postcards on one of their New Shepard rockets up into space. When it comes back to Earth, they put a stamp on it that says flown into space, and they send it back to the kid, and then they have their own space souvenir. Now, a lot of it is they give the age range as between 1 and 101. So there's, a lot of us can do it too.
Thank you, Teresa. The good thing is we're beginning to do things which involve space, which is rather valuable for a space nation. John?
Yeah, well, thank you, Teresa. That was really helpful, and that sounds great. I'm really happy that we're making that connection, especially with children, because children grow up to be adults, and adults grow up to be residents of Scardia. So, yeah. But Ariana was talking about the shirts, and I literally had people coming up to me asking for t-shirts. I wish the t-shirt. I thought we had made plans to have t-shirts there. Somehow or another that fell through, but I wish they had been there, because we would have done well on t-shirts, because people were coming up asking for t-shirts. If we had a shirt for the event, and Eclipse shirts were selling all over the place. We were at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library, and they were just about sold out on their Eclipse t-shirts. So, and those shirts were like $50 a shirt. So they made some money off of Eclipse t-shirts. But yeah, so I hope that whatever event that we decide to do next time, that that possibly we do have some. I have a t-shirt place here that makes bulk t-shirts at a real low price, and I'm sure we can explore that if we have to. Um, uh, uh, they they've made several bulk shirts for us for our church and for my wife's school, and different things. So, uh, and they're local, and all the shirts are made, in the USA. So, but yeah. Anyway, I think that would have went over well. Like Lambert said, that would have actually done well had we done that. And I can sell shirts through my business, even though I think there was something said about how we couldn't make a profit. Well, we couldn't as for Asgardia or the NGO, but we can do it as a business. That's why it's important that people that have a business go on asgardia.trade and register your business. Then you can make all the profit you want through your business, and you give part of that profit to Asgardia. You decide how much that is. I think Bendel gives, uh, uh, I think it's 20% or 30% to Asgardia. Everything he makes off the Star Shop. Or no, I think he keeps 20% and gives the rest to Asgardia. I think that's how it works. But and that decision is something that you would make. But if you have a registered business on Asgardia.trade, you can do it. Well, that's if you have all the legal documents and stuff for your wherever you live to do business such as that, which I do. I have a tax ID and all that other stuff, and I can actually make sales. In the state of Georgia, you have to have a license to make sales and to collect tax. I have those licenses. I don't know everybody else's state or country where you're at. I don't know your rules or your laws, but you do. So just make sure you're following those rules and those laws for that state or country, and then go on Asgardia.trade, register your business, and when you have a big event and you want to make a sale, make the sale under your business, and then you can elect to give part of that proceeds to Asgardia. Okay. Now, where those proceeds go, that's still being debated. I know Bendel says that he still hadn't been able to send anything. He just keeps it in reserve. And then because we haven't established a bank yet. We haven't established a way to make that connection yet. It's being done, but it hasn't been done. So when that is done and we get the tax thing done and all the other stuff done, well, then we'll be able to do that. And right now, I think Ben just holds his in reserve, which is probably what I would do too. And currently I'm holding all the stuff that I've made off of Asgardia in reserve, and I use it only for Asgardia. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope that helps.
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. My summary would be that we achieved our mission objective. I'm sorry for Carolyn not having great weather. I'm very grateful that we did have good weather. And as I say, in the evening, it was the most incredible thunderstorm. Probably the most intense thunderstorm I've ever seen. And Dallas became a kind of lake. But it was great. So I really appreciate everyone who's done something for this. There are upcoming eclipses that we can look at. We'll talk about future events later. But to everybody who was involved in organizing, because I didn't really do any of the organizing. I turned up, but I didn't do any of the organizing. Massive, massive thank you. And once again, to Sarah Clark's mother, thank you to her, because he was absolutely brilliant, really lovely human being. And they were charging something like $1,000 a night for some of the hotels. well, I was able to stay with Charlotte's mum, and she was very patient. Myself and Teresa were both there. So great. I don't see anybody else raising their hand, so I'm going to move on from that to the other item of me reporting back to you. Oh, yeah, and we'll come back to events globally under fourth item. So the next item is a review of Space Symposium in Colorado Springs. Now, the background is I wasn't planning to go to this, but I was advised by the team, by the AMPs I met, and by Clive, and it was decided that because it was a 2-hour flight, and I was in America anyway, I should go to the Space Symposium. Now, this is a very big space symposium. It's got most of the big players on it, and it's in a place called Colorado Springs. It's actually about 1.5 hours flight from Dallas. So I went up there, and I can tell you that we had a great location, absolutely great location between the two halls. So everyone had to walk past us, but people started using our stall as an information center. But I went there, and Clive was on it with Elena, who's our translator, and Clive's wife was there as well, and myself. And we had a very productive time. There'll be a full write-up of it for the Next Room magazine, so I won't go into details now. But Clive, who I think is traveling back today, so I don't think he can join us. He basically is the hero of the piece, I think. I was trying to meet TJ there, but we just couldn't get the timings to work because it would take 6 hours for TJ to get there. But it was great, and it just shows with a little bit of planning we can do a lot of work when we're working together and whenever we organize these events. The other important benefit is that we are seen at these events and that we get taken seriously because we show up, and there's no substitute for that. John Fine said that earlier on. When Clive gets back and he's available, then I'll ask him to give a report really on the Space Symposium. But once again, if we think about it this way, and we'll talk about it on the next item, when you hear of something which is important, if we can attend, then we will. And it's a matter of time and money. It's a lot of travel, but then we are a global operation, and there's no substitute for sometimes just making that trip. I don't always have to show up. If there's a space event near you, you can represent Asgardia. You don't need me there. You can just go and do it. It's not a problem. And we can provide materials. We can post things out to you so that you got things to hand out. We had a very nice magazine, a thin version of the room that we were handing out, both in Dallas and also at the Space Symposium, and that's been very popular. That was in everybody's bag as well because we were sponsors. So a lot of people heard about Asgardia. So well done, everybody who was involved in that. If anybody's got any questions on that one, I can answer them. But really, I think probably the best thing would be to let Clive do a report whenever he's back. Anybody want to add anything to this? Okay. As I say, it's not going to be a very long meeting today, but the next item is agenda for 2024. Now, based on the success at the symposium, and once again, I can't take credit for that. That was already arranged. The only thing I did was attend it. But based on the Space Symposium and the Eclipse events, what I would ask colleagues to do is some homework. What I'd like you to do is think about events in your country that could be good for Asgardia to attend. And then we can work out how we do it and what we do. Basically, success for me is that we start showing up when we can for these kinds of events. And when I say we, it doesn't have to be with me, but we as Asgardia can attend. So please do tell me when you see something coming, and then we can do something meaningful with that. What I have in mind are the following. There may be further eclipse events. I was looking, there are a number of eclipses coming up, but there could be other events like a launch of a rocket, for example, or it could be something to do with the local space agency having an event, depending where you live. Or it could just simply be an aerospace show where then we can attend. I'm just trying to find what I'm looking down at is the next total eclipses, a calendar. The total list of total solar eclipses in 21st century. I've got it here, and it doesn't have to be just a solar eclipse. It can be pretty much anything. And what I would hope is that we can be present. We can be present when this happens. And the next total eclipse is August the 12th, 2026. And that's in the Arctic, Greenland, Iceland, Spain, northeastern Portugal. That's where the total eclipse will be. But maybe we can do something then. And I think Turkey might be involved in as well in a partial way. Ariadne.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm talking with my daughter. It's so complex to talk face to face with her because he lives so far away from me. But I'm talking with her about the Jason Berry. I say to her, he building an special LED arcs for ashes of us, and maybe in the future, my ashes will put in there to go to the moon. And he said, "Oh, that's wonderful. I can see the moon and say, oh, the ashes of my mother is there." Yes, is the idea. Maybe I can get it. Maybe not, but I love the idea. Yes. And he said, please send me all the details. Who is the people that I need to contact in this moment? And I say to her, wait, I want to be an oldest lady. And yes, well, but he knows many things about we are creating in this moment. And she said, you are happy there. You are an Asgardian, really compromised there. Yes, it's like that. Well, thank you.
Thank you very much. You can see the amount of motivation that has been developed by our recent, by the Eclipse event. And I would just ask colleagues here to do some research, do some homework between now and next Thursday. And if you can share the events that you think we could do, then let's see what we can do. Bridget is always very good at that kind of thing. She wasn't able to come because of personal commitments to the total eclipse in Dallas, but she's been very good at that. And she's done it all herself. She's totally self-motivated. It's really excellent. But please do, and as I say, TJ held 2 events in her area. Carolyn did hers up in New York State. Ariadne did hers. You've heard about the one in Dallas. Just think about things that we can do. And as Ariadne says, we get interest. We get people coming along, and that really matters. So I'm asking all of you by Thursday to come up with some ideas of what events we might be able to do globally. And as I say, if I can find a way to come, then I will, but only as long as it's worth coming. I mean, as in it's doesn't cause more trouble than the benefit. Further.
Thank you very much, dear Lambitopik. There is also another occasion that upcoming on the 11th of May until 15th of May, now in Lisbon, Outer Space Activities Conference. Maybe we will attend that. I will forward the mail. Cheryl advised this event to me, and we shouldn't wait until Thursday, so I will be forwarding the mail to all parliamentarians later on, okay?
Okay, that is fantastic. Thank you. Yes, and that's not very far away either for me. So let's see.
Time is counting always.
It's just great. I'm just having a look if I can find it. 14th, 15th of May, outer space activity. Yeah, on the road to the management and sustainability of outer space activities. Portuguese Space Agency and UNOSA. That's interesting. That's good. Maybe we can attend that. But if you could send the details that you have, that would be great. Thank you. It's not difficult. It's just one flight, not 10. to get there. I should say, incidentally, that we have some interest potentially with a European Union member of Parliament who might be interested in Asgardia. It's too early to know.
I sent it to you right now. Later, I will prepare a cover about
Okay.
it and send to my.
Thank you. That would be great. That's exactly the kind of thing that we're looking at. I'll speak to Clive. Clive tends to represent us at these events, but as I say, I'm willing to help as well. And if you have some active Asgardians in Portugal, maybe we can get them to come as well. We had a very good event with the Asgardians in Greece when I went there in Athens. That was a very good event. It took about 2 years ago. It was actually during the lockdown. It was definitely worth going. Definitely worth doing. Excellent. Anybody else got anything else? You've heard that Ferda's going to share something. If you've got something, please do share, and let's see if we can make an agenda for the world. And let's see how we can make progress in that way. Okay, let's move on to the next item. And that is review of key legislation. Now, I put this on because I want to make sure that we're covering everything that people want to cover in terms of necessary legislation. I don't mean just making legislation so that we can have legislation. The question for you is, are there subject areas that you think we need to be doing the basic work on, which is currently missing from our legislative agenda? Now, you might not have answers today, but once again, what I'd ask you to do is have a consideration of this. Have a look at what's needed in your area, whichever committees you're on. If you're chair of a committee, then there as well. And please submit those proposals. The reason for this is because I want to organize our legislative agenda in a logical way so that we know where we are. I can prioritize it. I try not to have more than 6 pieces of legislation in a sitting because it's too much if it goes beyond that. But then we can prioritize and make sure we've got first, second, third readings all logically being developed. And so I'm asking you to come up with the proposals that of the legislation you think we need. John.
Yes, well, this ain't legislation, but it's a project. Can I talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Our committee is it was actually it's an ideal that came from Gennady Gusev. We want to start a we've already got a name, we've already got a business, a plan that we're working on. But basically what we want is we want to start a co-op for consulting. Okay, and the co-op will consist of everybody that has a business that wants to join. Okay, no matter what state you're from, no matter what country you're from, no matter what region you're from, you just basically send an email to me stating that you want to join the co-op. There will not be any, nobody will be in charge of the co-op. The co-op will be in charge of itself. In other words, its members are in charge. It will be controlled by the members, everybody that joins. Everything will be voted on. Everybody will have an equal vote. No matter how much business you do, everybody will have an equal vote. And what it is basic consulting. So, but consulting goes into many different areas. It can even go into making profit, selling an item. but it can go into education, it can go into science, it can go into uh, uh, information and technology, it can go into information and security. And so what we want to do, and this is actually already being done in the United States and several other places, where all these businesses get together and they start a co-op and they make a website and people go in when they need something done and they leads are generated and the orders generated, and then that's sent out to the different businesses, whoever is in that area or that they have a system that determines how you get your traffic. And for instance, let's say like South Africa, we have two Asgardians in South Africa, two businesses. They would get all the South African traffic, unless it's something. And then if it's something like something that doesn't, it's not geographically specific, then it can go into um, a board like where people can just pick it and say, hey, I want this, or hey, I want that, whatever. And of course, we're not going to generate those leads. Our plan is to go ahead and hire a or a lead generating business to generate the leads and do that for us. We think that's a better business model than trying to do that ourselves, because it would require a lot of we would have to build a lot of information. We would have to build on that with a lot of resources that we don't have, and where we could just hire somebody to do that, and it would be probably cheaper. And then how do we pay for that? Well, once we figure out who's going to join, and that's what we want to do right now. That's all we want to do right now, is figure out who would even consider it. So if you have a business and you would consider it, then send me an email. Let me know. And we're just getting that done right now. Okay. Now we have already created a name for it. We call it Star Solutions. I thought that sounded pretty good. But anyway, so if you're even interested in maybe coming up with this co-op, and yes, we probably won't make a lot at first, but as we organize and get it together, once you're interested, I will send you a link to the planning document that we have that everybody can add to. Right? Just because what's on the document is on there doesn't mean that that's the way it's going to be. Once you're interested, you have a business. Of course, you have to have a business you have to have some way of generating a profit, and it has to be related to something that you're doing that can have consulting, and just about any subject can have consulting. Okay, and people don't realize that, and consulting is just talking about or giving technical advice or stuff like that, and telling people what's broke about what, and then how they can fix it, and maybe having a product you can send them to fix it. That can all fall into consulting. So if you're even interested, then send me an email through my Asgardia email address. I'll send you the document, the planning document that we're using, and anybody can add to that. You want to add information to it, add information to it, right? And it's just an open document where we're actually doing the planning together. It's not one person doing the planning, it's all of us doing the planning, okay? And that's the way the whole system is set up to work. It's not, nobody's in control of it, we're all in control of it. And that's the way a true co-op is supposed to work. And a co-op, we have co-ops here in the United States. They're called co-ops, and in your country it's probably called something else. Some people call it networking, some people call it stuff like that. But network marketing could be a term that would fall into that. But we're not particularly marketing anything. Well, I guess we are marketing ourselves of what we can do, and the reason the Gusev thought of this is because we have a lot of experts here in Asgardia. And when I say experts, I mean experts, people that really know what they're talking about. And a lot of them have businesses. And so why not can we just bring that together into one entity and generate an income or profit off of it? And I've already run the idea through the Minister of Trade and Commerce. He said that we would have to create a business, and which I could easily do under I actually have a consulting agency, but Gusev said that whoever creates the business needs to be the one that has the best tax breaks and all that stuff. So some places don't even have business tax. I do here in Georgia, so I would have to assess taxes on whatever I do. But some business places don't have tax, and that would actually be a benefit, so we don't have to absorb that cost. So, and that person will actually become the project manager. Won't be in charge of it, but it's just to be the manager of, and that's where we'll create the actual business itself. It not necessarily has to be done here with me or with Ben or with anybody else. We want to do it as a group. So, but we want to pick an area that's going to give us our best financial breaks when it comes, because business costs money, and anybody that has a business knows that. So, but the location that has the best financial outlook as far as taxes and all that stuff goes, that's the location we want to choose. So wherever that location is, which we don't know yet because I don't, Ben said he would join, and that's the only person I have. I think Gusev would definitely join if he has a business. I definitely would join my business to it. So just be thinking about it. And if you think you want to be a part of this, then, like I said, send me an email. I will send you the link to the planning page, and it has a lot of stuff in there that can be filled out, and just whatever areas that you think you can fill out. Areas that you want to suggest, right? Nothing you say is going to be wrong, all right? It's a group effort. So, yeah, anyway, that's our ideal. Thank you for the time.
Thanks, John. Very comprehensively described. And once again, it's great to see these ideas being turned into action. And the more that we can do that, the faster Asgardia will grow. We could end up in a situation where the actual Asgardia proposition becomes very big very quickly. And then the economy works and everyone gets paid. Let's remember that there is an incentive, which is that when we have enough money going through the system, then your parliamentary salaries will increase as well. Does anybody else have anything on legislation? That was technically about legislation, but obviously it was reasonable to talk about process as well. Okay. If you do have a requirement for legislation, please do let me know. I'm very keen to always try to accommodate your sensible requests on this, and that matters a lot to me. So as with the previous item, let's see if you can come back to me by Thursday for the Q&A. That would be really helpful. Okay, let's go to any other business. Is there anything else anybody would like to cover today? I said it would be quite a short meeting. I got the time about right. Anything else that we need to cover today before we close? I've got 2 bits of information in response to questions. I'm trying to work out the date for the next digital sitting. I will be seeing the head of the nation for definitely in August. Definitely in August. We'll need to see if I'm going to see him before then. But at that meeting, I will be talking about the content of a forthcoming digital sitting as well. But I also want to see if I can get second point, physical sitting arranged. As you know, I'm really wanting us to have a physical sitting this year, and the head of nation will make that decision when I see him. And location, the most likely location I still think is Istanbul, but Dubai is a possibility also, because the visa issues are minimal in both of those places. And the other piece of any other business is that with all the materials that we've got from the eclipses, I'm hoping that Ross Cheesewright will be working with Cheryl Gallagher, so Minister for Culture and Chair of Information Communications, to create some other materials like what you saw from Teresa. And I would like to include all of the events, the ones that TJ organised in her locality, the Ariadne's, Caroline's, and of course the Dallas one as well. And we can have a really nice video. I expect that we'll have 3 different lengths of video. We'll have a 3-minute one, probably an 8-minute one, and 15-minute one, something like that. We got some really great interviews with colleagues, and they went very well. So thank you if you were interviewed. I really appreciate you doing that. I'm not a great designer of videos and so on. I can present, but I don't have the technical skills that colleagues have to make great videos. So that will be happening in the process of the next week or two. I think we might be able to do something for the symposium as well, because Clive was taking a lot of photographs there. So there's a lot to report, really. And I just hope that we can actually get those done very quickly so we can start using them as promotional materials. Right. Any other business from anyone? As I said, I thought it'd be quite a short meeting today, but we needed to have this. Okay. Thank you, everybody. I've got work to do. I can now focus on the work I need to do for further. I've been so busy. I won't be doing it today probably, but tomorrow I'll be able to start focusing on the work I need to do for further. And I'd just be grateful, really, if you guys, if colleagues here can carry on with the good work, the excellent work that you're doing. And please do think about events that we might be able to go to in your locality. That seems really important to me. And all that you can attend. We've got the one in Lisbon. We'll have a look at that. And then please do think about legislation that you think we may need to have as well. Okay, that I think brings us to the end. The next one's going to be a longer session because we're going to be talking legislation again, but we always knew that this one coming just after the Eclipse event would be a little bit shorter. So thank you, everybody. Really good to see you all. We're finished there. So 70 minutes, yeah. I made a reasonably good guess there between 60 and 120. Have a good rest of the day. Thanks to the team as well. And if need be, you can get in touch with me. I have another meeting later on this afternoon, but not yet. So feel free to call. And it's just great to see him. Well done, everybody. Well done, absolutely everyone who was involved in the Eclipse events. It was really, really tremendous. Really, really valuable. And last word to Ferda.
Thank you very much. I was curious about our next APC meeting for brainstorming. So if my colleagues has a date, please warn me about it. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. I should really try and attend that as well if I can. That would be great. Make sure you tell Ferda. Yeah, Jose is saying yes. And I'm sure that Ariadne will be involved as well. And John will, if he finds time on his spaceship, he might be able to come and see you as well. Every time I see you, you're in a bigger place. There we are. Okay, all the best to everyone. Thank you very much. We'll close there. And if you need me, you know where I am. But I've got another meeting in about 2 hours' time. But I'll be around till then. So we got to 28. So when we get to 13, we'll shut it down. All the best, I hope. And thank you once again. Cheers, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Oh.